G'day guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm doing the 6-month review of the Cartier Santos Dual Time, and I actually have it on the suede strap just to switch it up a bit. Now this is basically a Santos large with extra steps and a shittier movement. Now it's not to say the movement is shitty, it's just to say that it's a cheaper off-the-shelf movement that they've added extra stuff to it to give it the dual time effect. So quick specs on this watch. It's the large model, so it's about 40 odd millimeter in diameter, square, 47.5 mil lug to lug. Thinness, again, is very similar to the large example. And in terms of a power reserve, we're talking about 42 hours power reserve with that dual time function, as well as 100 meters water resistance. So if you want a one and done watch, this is a good option because it has the GMT function, tracking a second time zone. It's also got a day and night complication as well as a date complication. And because the power reserve is quite shit in today's standards, if it's your just one watch collection, it'll be totally fine if you're wearing it on a day-to-day basis. Not to mention you get the suede strap as well as the integrated steel bracelet that the Santos is known for. On the bracelet, it's a magnificent wearing piece. Look, I've had a Rolex Wimbledon before, and between this and the Wimbledon, this takes the cake. And it might be a bit controversial. I think that the Rolex Wimbledon date just 36 or 41. I think it's a beautiful watch. However, as a comparison to this, because the dials are very similar, they're both that gray anthracite sunburst. I think this one is just a touch more elegant, a touch more useful, and I want to say better value for money, but that only applies if you get this in the gray market. Now this released last year, and it was controversial because, as I mentioned in the beginning, it comes with an off-the-shelf Sellita SW, S330W, whatever the fuck it is. And the movement has been okay. I've tested the accuracy in my previous videos, please watch those. And it's running at about that -3 to +3 seconds per day. Very, very close to the Rolex superlative chronometer, or whatever it is. Very close to that spec guideline. Now, it's not to say this watch is perfect. Here it is on my 6.5 inch wrist, and my wrist is actually growing because I am bulking at the moment. I've gained about 5 kilos if you haven't noticed, which you probably won't because all the growth is like here as opposed to here. But here's what it looks like. On the strap, because I am growing my wrist, the strap feels phenomenal, and it was a lot better than when I was 5 kilos lighter, essentially. There's not that much flare, and it holds onto the wrist and wears very, very light and comfortable. Whereas on the bracelet, it does fit me relatively well, and it's very easy to take in the links, you know, just standard Santos shit. Now, as a 6-month wear, I've been enjoying this, and I don't see myself getting rid of it out of the collection unless I upgrade into something baller, right? I need to upgrade into something more significant if I was to get rid of this, because in my belief, I think that this watch is a better value proposition, an overall package proposition, an overall fit than the Vacheron Constant Overseas Dual Time. Now, I've tried the Dual Time, and although I love the watch, I'm a realist as well, it doesn't fit my wrist. Not yet, however. I'm planning to grow my wrist up to 7 inches, and it is possible. I might release a video of that in the future, but as of right now, it doesn't fit me, and it's too expensive to justify it not fitting me. Some quick pros and cons. Pros: 2 straps, daily wearable, all the functions that are really useful, you know, second time zone, day and night. Date complication, 100 meters water resistance, and it just looks the business. Like, there's nothing quite like this out there on the market at the moment. So you're getting a lot of pros for your money. Also, in the money side of things, since these are hitting the gray market, retail's about that $14,000, maybe closer to 15. However, in the gray market, you can easily pick one up for about 10 to 11 grand, brand spanking new. Used, I haven't seen any used examples, but I'm sure that it'll be about that low 10s, high 9s for your consideration. Cons, not that many. However, like with the Santos, cons would be no micro adjust on the integrated bracelet, so if it doesn't fit you, you basically have to wear it loose. I've been increasing my wrist size, so it's starting to fit better and better and better. And if you have a smaller wrist, smaller than 6.4 inches, I wouldn't recommend getting this watch if you're interested in the strap. The strap's straight up not gonna fit you. Now, I've measured my wrist recently at about 171 millimeters. And when I lost a lot of weight, it was about 162 millimeters. At 170 odd millimeters, this is what it looks like. I'm wearing it on the tightest setting. However, if I wanted to wear it on the second tightest setting, which I'll do right now, I could get away with wearing it and it'll still feel relatively comfortable. The tightest setting actually is starting to feel a bit tight for me, but you know, that's what it is. So another con, because the power reserve, see, second tightest setting, totally fine. Because the power reserve is only 40 hours, I do find that it is a little bit shorter. I mean, it depends if you're wearing it day to day to day. You need to wear it enough. And this isn't a knock on this specific watch. This is just stock standard on all of the Santoses that I've had. You have to wear it consistently in order to get that true 40 odd hour power reserve. If you're wearing it once every 2 days, you're not going to give it enough charge to hold that power reserve. So if you have a collection, like today, I didn't wear this. I actually wore my my Reverso because I had an important meeting. If you're not wearing this as a main daily, it's going to be a bit of a bitch to adjust because you've got those complications to think about. You know, you got your time, you got your date, but you also got the day and night second time zone that you have to fiddle around with. Now, it's not too much of a headache because the way the crown works is if you pop it out once, if you go up, you change something, and you go down, you change something. I forgot the order of it. But if you go up or down, you can change the time and date. It's very simple. But if you have a collection, let's say more than 5 watches, it's going to be a bit of a bitch to adjust every single time. Not the end of the world, but something to consider. Another con is the glass itself. I've noticed that there has been a mark right around the center of the dial. Now, it's not the biggest issue in the world. It is a sapphire crystal. I'm not sure if it's a manufacturing defect or something that I caused. However, in saying that, you could run the risk of marking the glass if you're not too careful with what you're doing. So that's something to consider as well. Overall, without rambling on too long, it's a great piece. It's a great overall package. You get a lot for your money. And in terms of alternatives out there in the market, there really isn't that many. A dual time integrated watch with multiple straps. The only other one that I can think of really is a Vacheron. And if you wanted to get a bit sexy, you could go for a Breitling Chronomat, but you can't really interchange the straps because you have to buy the strap, you know what I mean? So it's been a fantastic 6 months. As I mentioned, I won't sell this unless I am upgrading or if I need the cash for more business opportunities and investments. Otherwise, great piece. I've been loving it on the suede. I just wish that it was easier to get straps here in Australia, but what can you do? That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you on the next one.